Yeah. Should we stream now?
Oh, the person that liked that post on my personal page is my brother, Lucas from Florida.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
All right, it's loading up. Here we go. All right, we're on.
Boom.
There's your stopwatch to keep us on point.
Is that YouTube?
Yeah.
So we're on?
Yeah, we're on.
Good morning, good morning. What's up, guys?
Bitches.
Yeah, we're bitches. That works too.
Is that our intro?
That's the intro. What's good? Yeah, see, I'm on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, really? Okay. Because it's early.
Yeah, I gotta change that. Adjust schedule. Yeah, it starts at 8 a.m. And stops at 10.
Mm.
It stops at 10.
Oh, I can. Okay. Is that?
Sounds good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pull it up so in case we get comments to those that are asking questions and whatnot.
Yeah, same here.
What up, what up, what up?
All right, Josh. What are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about technology, how it affects parenthood. What's up?
Yo, mama.
Oh, yeah, I just saw
She's
that.
so
Oh, you got
gangsta.
it up? Okay, cool.
Yeah, she's messaging. Okay, you gonna monitor YouTube?
Whichever,
Perfect.
I don't care.
Please.
Yeah, I'll get it. I figured that way it's less for you to take care of.
I have cool as fuck.
So today, it's technology, how it affects parenthood, how it affects your everyday life. For those of you that pay attention and give too much of a fuck, we did do this one before, but notorious
It was on
JUAN
me.
fucked it
I
up.
fucked up. You couldn't hear me, but you know you want to hear this sexy, silky voice. So we're
Yeah.
gonna redo this bitch
Silky
so you
voice.
can hear me. So yeah, it was about technology and how we handle it with our children and yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm like here, there, everywhere.
One of the big things that really stuck with me from that episode that Alex said was whenever your daughter has or your daughters have friends over, your wife will collect all the phones and be like, hey, if you're going to be here, be present, be active. If you need to call your mom, if you're sick, if something's going on, if you're uncomfortable, let me know and I'll reach out. And I was thinking of it and I'm like, okay, well, first off, not only does that create a barrier intentionally between the device and the child, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even furthermore, it grows the trust between the children, the guests, her friends, and you. You know what I mean? Because it's not one of those things where, like, for example, if one of your daughters says something to them that hurts their feelings or they make them uncomfortable or they're tired or whatever, they don't just text their mom and just let you know, oh, I'm leaving. You know what I mean? It creates a level of communication where they have to communicate with you as the parent.
Mm-hmm.
And so it creates that open dialogue for you guys as well to where, you know, you have more of a presence in them playing. And as they grow up, they're going to start to trust you more and they're going to have more of a communication level with you. So that was one of the things from last episode that really stuck with me. And granted, you know, my son's not quite to that point yet. But once he gets there, that's definitely something I want to implement. I really liked that.
You know, with the communication thing too, it's it forces kids to talk to adults.
Absolutely.
You know, if they need something, because nowadays everybody's the kids are so involved with their tablets or their phones. They don't know how to communicate to anybody.
Right.
And it's a struggle. And so, like, what I've done with my kids is when we go out to restaurants, you know, obviously the kids don't have any phones with them, but they'll take books and you know, coloring books and things like that. They have to order their own food. And so it forces them to, you know, be respectful to the waiter or waitress, look them in the eye and tell them, you know, what they want.
Yeah.
So you force that interaction to a certain point.
Be their own man and woman as opposed to just relying on you for everything.
Yeah, you know, the kid's sitting there coloring or playing on their phone and, you know, the parent will be like, you know, Skippy's going to have mac and cheese and apples. And
Skippy, that's a fun
yeah. It's actually really cool when you sit back and you watch your kids. You know, I've got 3 girls and you watch them all order their own food, and you're like, all right, we're doing something right.
Right.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool.
Especially when they speak up and you don't have to say anything too. You
Right.
know?
The only thing when you do have to speak up is when you're like, hey, you need to figure out what the hell you're going to order because they're coming. Because they're just sitting
Right,
there.
right.
They'll fuck off the whole time.
Yeah.
You're
Hell,
right.
I'm even bad about that. They're like, "Are you ready to order?" I'm like, "Fuck, I haven't even looked at the menu."
I forgot I was in the restaurant.
I just opened my
Right?
just opened my crayons.
I'm still trying to solve this maze. Fuck. Leave me alone. No.
It's connected on as a motherfucker.
You guys are getting better. No. That's so.
Fucking Sistine
think-
Chili's over here.
So that's the one of the things that I try to focus on is communication.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for instance, my son, I always have to constantly, and he's gotten better. It was worse when he was younger, to have eye contact. Because there's several things that I think are very important. Even more important than education is have a firm handshake, be charming, look people in the eye,
Right.
smile. It'll take you a million miles.
I mean, those, to be honest, every single one of the things that you just said was the only reason I came to your house for the first time.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, because again, I love football. You love boxing. You know what I mean? Like we had, and there were so many different things that we had, but because of the handshake, the eye contact, the confidence, that, you know what I mean? Those kind of things. I was like, I told, my wife, I was like, we got to go check this guy out. You know what I mean? Like I felt that immediate authenticity.
Yeah.
And that's why like I never have shied away from introducing you to other members of my family or your family or anything like that, because it's like I know what this guy's about. I know this dude is legit, and I don't, granted we may have different opinions about certain things, but at the end of the day, it's not like I have at the core we are very, very similar, if not the same, and that's somebody that I want to do life with, and I want my family to feel comfortable with. So yeah, it's absolutely, I agree. Those are huge.
That's key. That's key.
So how old's your boy?
He is right now 6, about to be 7.
Okay.
Yeah, much better now with the eye contact and but I have to constantly obviously remind him, hey buddy, hey, look here.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you see that a lot. So it's funny you said they try to keep them away from tablets and stuff, right? You can literally see in their classes. I can point out, yep, he's on a tablet all the time. But you can point them out if they look into me in my eyes, if they stutter, right? Obviously, there are some who may have disabilities, or at least are not as inclined. But you can call that shit out real quick.
Yeah, they don't. Well, when they talk to you, they don't look at you.
Yes,
They're looking away, and
correct.
You're like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And furthermore, it's kind of crazy because, of course we see all these memes and all these, whatnot on how kids don't know how to go outside and just play with a stick anymore. You know what I mean? They always need something, and it's crazy because it's like kids really do, the ones that are exposed to technology on a saturation type level where it's like they need TV, tablet, cell phone at all times. Like they don't know how to self-entertain. They don't know how to, sing to themselves. They don't know how to, take a piece of Play-Doh and, a crayon and all of a sudden like they're sword fighting.
No, be creative.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it removes that creativity because, I can just, I wonder if there's something on YouTube about that. You know what I mean? And they go look it up and it gets into that wormhole where now you can't leave that kid alone without a device and before they just mentally implode.
I like that word you use, saturation, because honestly, my kids, they're involved with technology. I mean, we started watching Blue's Clues when my first was born, and we still watch movies, and kids know how to use Chromebooks and search the internet and everything like that. But
it's definitely essential.
Yeah, no, it is. They've got to stay up, keep up with the times and everything. And this isn't an anti-technology thing, but you can oversaturate your kids.
Definitely.
The exposure. You got to put a limit on it. And
I mean, that's with anything. That's with fitness. That's with food. That's with
I'm bad
work.
with it. My phone
that's
too.
With everything.
I catch myself on the couch, scrolling through my phone, and going like, what the fuck am I doing? I've been here for 20 minutes. I've done zero or anything productive.
Right.
And I'm just scrolling through the feed, looking at bullshit.
Yeah. And that's what I see posts a lot of times on a lot of these entrepreneur pages and stuff like that, and they always say, being busy and being productive are two different things.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
I can be busy with other shit real quick.
Yeah.
That's like 4 out of 5 days at work.
Right.
One productive day, the rest of them are just fucking busy.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's and we're talking about the kids. My kids, when you're saying that they have to have something in front of them, like a phone or something to stay busy.
Right.
Like when my kids come to me and they say, I'm bored, like, Dad, I'm bored. I'm like, here's a fucking toothbrush. The baseboards need cleaning. And it happens once, and they don't come back.
Never again.
Like, if
They'd rather sit there and count all the bumps on the sheetrock.
they will do the crayon and the Play-Doh or
Right.
go outside and be like, all right, I don't want to tell Dad I'm bored. I'll go figure some shit out.
Because I do the same shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a bathroom needs cleaning. Let's go.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's funny because, of course, I have a million kids. And you can see the younger one do that. And you see the other ones go, uh-oh. Like you said the no word.
Dad, I'm so busy right now.
You have no
I'm
idea.
having a blast. I really got a lot on my plate, Dad.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
My agenda is booked.
Come back tomorrow.
See, like,
If you want, I can get you with my people that can pencil you in.
exactly, yeah. So you see the young one like what did I say? Why is that a wrong thing? Right?
Yeah.
They look at their siblings. It's
Yeah.
fascinating. You have so many children, and how they interact with each other, and how the younger ones learn from the older ones. Right? It blows my mind. You seeing this, like you seeing these little humans evolve and learn and adapt to the environment, and
Yeah.
especially when you catch them in the corner of your eye, like staring at you, like what is he doing?
Yeah.
Why is
Right.
he doing it? Or she's plotting my death. I don't know. Take me down.
Wait till this motherfucker goes to sleep.
That's what
You got to go to sleep sometime, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. Are you plotting on me? That's a major pain. Are you plotting on me, son? That's how I feel every time. But no, it just blows my mind. Just if you just get away from TV, get away from like trying to distract yourself. That's what I notice. Like, a lot of times, like if I'm not feeling good or sad or bored, I need something to distract myself. That's what it is. 'Cause I need to kill the time.
Yep.
That
It's a filler.
That's what it is.
Sometimes
all
we
it
kind of
does.
need to embrace the boredom. You know what I mean?
100%.
You know
That's
what I
the
mean?
key. Fuck, I
Embrace
heard
the
that.
boredom.
That's okay.
Yes, because you know what? It's funny. I remember back in the day, I got my best ideas on the shitter. I'm dead serious. Like even
Mine
when
are
I
in the
played
shower,
soccer-
but yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm too busy with that. No. But I remember like I was an entrepreneur, captain of the soccer team, and I would plot plays and shit, and also set up the positioning, and I would it would happen in while I'm dropping a deuce or certain ideas like app ideas and things like that, or fucking struggling on a particular problem. I don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
Why? Because the first thing I do is pop out my phone.
Yep.
I'm like, what am I doing?
Have you seen that video from Simon Sinek where he's sitting down?
I love that guy. Oh,
Dude.
how uncomfortable it is to just have the phone on the table.
Yes.
Just that visual cue saying you are not as important as that phone. Because
Right.
the moment that beeps, I'm grabbing
I got to
it.
pick it up. And it talks about
Yes.
how millennials are using that, and they're stuck into the whole phone cycle, and how it translates into the whole business aspect and work environment.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a whole new generation that's coming through in the workforce that they're not going to be able to handle communications. They're not going to be able to. They're going to struggle communicating with just their upper management.
Sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Blows my mind. And that's one of the reasons. And like I said, everything goes up and down, right? There's these curves of technology, curves of trends.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think we're definitely getting back on the downtrend. That's why the numbers for Facebook have gone down. The numbers of Twitter have gone down.
Right.
Right.
I think
There's
people are becoming more
interaction.
cognizant of that oversaturation.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I think you're right, and it's out there too. I mean, the local news is running stories on it, and now there's apps on your phone. I think some of the newer phones already have it built in where it tells you how long you've been on your
Yeah.
phone, how many times you've picked
Yep.
it up. and-
Only iPhones do that. By
I
the
think
way.
No. To be fair, no, it's funny. They
green bubble for life.
That's the thing. No, and it's funny you say that because even technology is merged. A lot of the competition is the same shit.
Yeah.
Literally, it was they were both reported at the same time. Like Google had their conference announced. I forgot what they call it, something Life, or
I'm not sure.
I forgot what the name of the feature was to show
Right.
you, hey, this you need to be more cognizant of your life rather than sitting on your phone, whatever. And then Apple did it 2 weeks later because they're all in fucking Silicon Valley, right?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I kind of look forward to that now. You know what I mean? Like
What's
I
that?
do the
that notification.
Yeah,
Yes, when it comes up, I'm like,
Yeah.
do more or less.
and it's funny because the
Less,
majority of
yes.
the one I noticed myself, I spend a lot of time on Instagram and a lot of time on my appointments app for the barbershop. So I'm like, okay, well, The appointments one is essential because normally I'm either checking what I need to get done. Someone's on the phone with me, so I'm checking what I've got available. I'm booking something. I'm canceling something. You know what I mean? It's essential. That is productive. It has to do with business, right?
Yeah.
And Instagram at times does as well, but it's like the number for, Instagram hours is here and messaging is like here. Or not messaging, appointments is like here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so that needs to be completely flipped.
It's the endless scrolling through
And I get to the
whatever.
point where, like, now I try to be more cognizant of it, and when I'm scrolling and I'm like, okay, what am I looking for something? Am I trying to actually find a specific post or page or whatever, or am I just scrolling because I'm bored? And I try to be cognizant of, and that's on everything, on games, messaging, Facebook, Instagram, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And now at the end of the week, or the beginning, I think it comes on Mondays, right? Or Sunday evening,
What?
whatever, the notification for the screen
I
time.
think so, yeah.
And so I look forward to that, and every week, probably, I don't know, the last month or so, it's gone down a couple percentages.
So
I'm like, okay.
Does it polls you throughout the week and then gives you kind of a weekly report?
Yeah, you can go through right now.
So you're
and see
trying
your
to
current screen time.
Trying to beat your previous week's
Exactly.
time?
Yeah.
I love when it
All
goes
right.
down.
So it's kind of like, the Fitbit tracker or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it kind of follows you that way. And I'm like, okay, well, I tried. And the cool thing is it not only shows you your average hours per day, it'll show you average hours per app. It'll show you the distribution, like a pie chart of which apps you're using the most.
Okay.
It'll even categorize them into social media, games, productivity, messaging, things like that, to where social media could be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. And so it's really cool because it makes you more conscious of what am I spending my time doing. And so every week I try to, decrease certain categories and then decrease the overall. And another thing that I really like that it tracks is pickups. So how many times you pick your phone up and unlock it throughout the day. And, it'll say how many you did for the week, and then it'll say average per day. And I try to be more cognizant of that. And it's like, am I looking at my phone because I got a notification of something I need to tend to? Am I just checking the time? Am I just waiting for that next ding to get that next dopamine release to be like, oh my God, yes, somebody wants to talk to me,
Yeah.
And so it just makes me more aware of that. And now every time, again, I try to beat my previous week of less and less and less time. And I've gotten better about one thing that I've done in the past probably 2 weeks that has been huge to me personally. When I get home, instead of sitting there and checking my emails and checking my notes and, going through all my stuff, first thing I do is put my phone in the charger, take my watch off, put it on the charger. And I walk into the kitchen and I talk to my wife and we eat dinner and we, discuss our day or whatever.
You're present.
And I leave my ringer off. I don't care if anybody calls me. I don't care if it's an emergency. I'm not concerned with that right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I do my best to leave it in there as long as possible. And because I do have people calling me for business things and, of course, a lot of family in the area and stuff like that, it's like, okay, well, I'll check it after about an hour. And when I check it, I'll, tap on the screen to see if I got anything. And even if I got, miscellaneous notifications, I'm like, okay, that's not important right now. And I'll leave it there. Yeah. And there have been a couple of nights where, it'll stay there for a couple hours. And I won't really mess with it at all. And it's like, one of the weirdest things, I actually did this on Friday night. I did that. I set my phone on the charger and then walked into the living room and started playing with my son. And it's like, normally he'll ask me, hey, Dad, can we play? Hey, Dad, can we play? Hey, Dad, can we play? And I'm, yeah, in a minute. Give me just a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scrolling. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Just a minute. Yeah, buddy, I said just a minute. Hold on. Can you give me a fucking minute? And it goes on for 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours. And it's like I realized when I put my phone on that stand, this was this past Friday night, and I go play with him, we fucking built a racetrack and we put together, what did he have? He got this thing where it's like a little dog mouth and you use Play-Doh and you make little Play-Doh teeth and then it has different colors and you make braces for the little dog.
Okay.
Nice.
Totally pointless. But he was thrilled that his dad was playing with him and that we were putting something together. And internally, it actually kind of hurt. Like it disappointed me that all it took from me was that minimal amount of effort to make a lasting impact in his life.
Yeah.
And
Pointless to you, but the world means the world to him.
Exactly.
Oh,
and
sure.
that had been going on for so long that it was so
it's the same,
exposing.
Yeah, same shit in my house. Like my wife and I are watching our shows, whatever, trying to decompress, and our kids are constantly coming from the den. It's like, Daddy, can we play this? Can you play? Like, can I finish my show?
Right.
Yeah.
And I finally became cognizant of that. Like, what am I doing? Fuck.
Yeah.
They're trying to interact with me.
Yeah.
Down the road when they're teenagers, they don't want. They
don't want to talk to you. Yeah.
Nothing
And
with you, right?
I mean, Instagram
So it's like,
and
what am I
Netflix and
doing,
Facebook,
man?
that's just always going to be there.
Yeah.
But those kids, especially in that toddler stage, they're not always going to be there.
No.
My mom just
Nope.
commented, said there's a book on Amazon called How to Break Up with Your Phone. It coaches people how to return to using their phone for need only. I like that.
Yeah,
That's fucking
I might read that.
cool.
So what I want to do is, if anybody listening out there, if your kids have phones and tablets, check that app out and see how much screen time your kids are on.
Oh yeah,
and then
And what apps they're using too.
apps they're using, but really take a look at that and realize how focused your kids are in that technology.
BTW on iOS, on the Apple, if you set it up as a family, you can get the screen time numbers of your kids.
Really?
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know
fuck
that.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Miss, I don't use Snapchat that much, and you look, 70% of your time is on fucking Snapchat.
Doing the fucking
You want to
dog
rephrase?
face.
Yeah. Oh,
dog
my
face.
God. So that drives me insane. So you're right. I mean, see, I had a point. Fuck. Anyway. But yeah, drives me insane. But yeah, that's a good feature.
Yeah.
And I definitely review that shit every week.
Mm-hmm.
Every week.
I do too. And again, I look forward to it. It's really cool because it's little efforts on a daily basis. You're like, okay, I totally fucked up and let it go this week. Or like, okay, cool. I'm on the right track. Let's keep doing it. And you notice, again, when I set my phone on that charger for 30 minutes, hour or whatever, I don't really miss it. Like you said, I'm present. I'm in the moment. And then when I go back to it, I'm like, what the fuck am I? Like, why did I even pick my phone back up? And I just put it back down and go interact. You know what I mean? And again, like you were saying on a previous episode, like, what was it? Why did I have all these fucking kids if I can't play with them?
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, there is a little man in the other side of my house that all he wants to do is put Legos up against each other and shoot Nerf guns.
Yeah.
And I'm in here scrolling Instagram endlessly for no reason.
Yeah.
And in a couple years, I'm not going to have that.
Well, once you realize that, you start to kind of reflect on your past, and you're going, I've fucking lost so much time to interact with, my kids because I've been, that asshat sitting on the couch, scrolling through Facebook, doing nothing, just
and it's crazy when you
mind-numbingly.
become conscious of that it starts to hurt.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting there and I'm watching TV. I'm like literally like getting itchy. Like, what am I doing? Get the fuck up right now.
And even, long term, it's like you're treating them how to treat their kids.
Bingo.
You're training them how to
even how
treat
to treat
their
other
marriage.
people, period.
Yeah. I mean, if they're in a meeting or if they're in school or if they're in an interview, are they always going to be like, yeah, hold on one second.
I'm busy.
Okay, I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah, instantly dismissive of anybody else or what else.
Not, and again, it goes back to the eye contact. Like, okay, yeah, just 1 minute, as opposed to, can you give me just a second? I'm in the middle of something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Totally different. And if they are genuinely in the middle of something, it's totally no big deal.
Which 9 times out of 10 you're not.
Absolutely.
I'm literally reading a fucking article of Habibi and whatever. It's like, do I really need to know this right now?
And even if it is important, I'll just keep the tab open or keep whatever it is, lock my phone, throw it on the couch or in the charger or whatever, and just go on about it. And I'll be like, whenever he goes to sleep, I'll pick this back up. Yeah. Or tomorrow while I'm at work, if I got some downtime, I'll pick this back up or whatever.
Especially in your situation where you don't see him all the time.
Yeah.
That's even.
And the visitation makes it definitely more. I have to be very efficient with my time, and it's cool because the weekends that I do get him, like I said, I've been more cognizant of spending time with him and being present and not being on my phone, to where it's now translated into other things. Even when I'm at the shop and I've got an hour, 2 hour gap, I used to spend it just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and then I'm like, oh cool, it's been 2 hours, my next appointment's here, and now it's like, okay, I'm gonna look and see if there's something that I need to know, because every now and then there's a new ebook, there's a new training, there's a new type of clipper, there's certain things that I do need to know and I need to stay aware of in the industry. Sure. But after I limit myself to 5 minutes. That's it, 5 minutes at a time. Nice. And when I get to that, when I hit that 5 minute mark, put my phone on the charger. I've got the little little dock, the wireless charger. And so I set my phone down, and because it's on a separate shelf, I can't just, what was that, and pick it up. You know what I mean? I purposely set it away from myself, so I got to get up and go get it. And I'll pop my laptop up. Now, granted, it is still a screen, but I'm being productive. I'm writing my book. I'm formulating my website. I'm talking to my manufacturers and things like that for other products, where it's like, okay, I'm actually utilizing this time to where when I'm at work, I'm working, so that when I'm home, I can be home. And I don't feel like, I got to get this done, babe. You're just going to have to get over it. Yeah. And my family time is taken away by work. When I'm at work, I'm pointlessly scrolling, or I'm pointlessly watching the same ESPN article 17 times a day.
I think it's completely different with using a cell phone versus a laptop, because it seems like with the cell phone, you just kind of go down that rabbit hole. But when you're on a laptop, it's like you're for me, it's you're purposely doing something, like you were saying.
Yeah.
You're doing something for work or things like that. But when you're on the phone, it's just so easy to open up that app and just.
And I think notifications is a big
Scroll
thing
through.
too, because if you're really on messaging, or if you're trying to type out a note for something, and then you get a text, or you get a YouTube notification, or you get a hey, somebody went Instagram Live, and you click on it,
Yeah.
and you're like, I don't care about that, so you exit it out and you keep scrolling, and you're like, wait, why did I initially grab my phone?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas laptops,
Yes.
you don't get those notifications, and if you do, they're not from as many sources. And so it keeps you more laser focused on what you're supposed to be
And
doing.
that's a big problem, right? We're constantly distracted with the side stuff.
Right.
You can't stay productive. There's a company called, well, right now it's Basecamp. They used to be called 37 Signals, and their name is, where they got it from is pretty cool. But anyway, stay focused. They talk about the reason why remote work or working from home is much more productive than working in the office is you get these constant interruptions. And take away social media, take away, whatever. The worst thing is when you're on the computer, you're coding, right? You're coding, and you get that tap on your shoulder. Immediately, that person is telling you, I am more important than what you're doing on that computer right now.
Right.
Yeah, I can see
9
that,
times out of
totally.
10, you are not.
Right.
I am focused on a particular task. The problem is, too, let's say I turn around and speak to that person, or even just say, hey, can you give me a minute? I've already lost my focus,
Yeah.
and it takes another 5 to 10 minutes to ramp right back in.
Sure.
If you even can.
So
if you had a train of
yeah.
thought, you might not get it back.
You just stole 10 or 15 minutes of productivity from me.
Right.
And it drives me up the fucking wall, right? So I try to implement that policy in my office. Is like, do not interrupt. If I see my homeboy like coding, I'm like, yeah, I'll throw a Slack message or whatever,
Right.
and he'll respond when he responds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or an email. I'm trying to be as unobtrusive as possible.
No, that's
Then I'll do an email. I'm like, all right, he checks his
Yeah.
email maybe every
Yeah.
30 minutes, some shit like that.
Right.
You're aware of what happens when, like, 'cause you're a
Yeah.
coder too, so you're
Yeah.
aware of what happens when somebody gets disengaged from the task at hand.
Oh yeah.
And it's the same thing, when I'm at work or you're doing something and all of a sudden you get the little Outlook pop up in the corner and you're like, you just completely lose focus on whatever you're doing. You go to open up Outlook and you're off in some other fucking rabbit
Yeah.
hole. So it's horrible.
Yeah. Most definitely.
And that's one of the big reasons I don't take walk-ins, because it distracts me. And
Of course, sure.
it can be from anything. Like, that haircut I showed you earlier where it still had all the hair on the back and he didn't finish, right? He was in the middle of that process, right? And so little things like, whether it is the haircut, whether it is a conversation that I'm having with that client, like, it's just, again, when somebody walks in, when somebody asks me something, granted, I'm not going to be rude and be like, get the fuck out of here, I don't take walk-ins. But at the same time, it's like, be like, hey, man, sorry, I do work by appointment only. If you'd like, here's one of my cards. On the back, it has my website. You can check my entire availability, services offered, pricing, everything. Yeah. Book it right on the website.
Yeah, shut it down real quick.
Yeah, and they're automatically like, oh, that's so great. Because a lot of times what happens is be like, do you take walk-ins? How long before you're done with him? Oh, do you have one after that? Do you have one after that? Do you have one after that? I'm not going to get into that rabbit hole. Check out the website. If I've got anything available, it's on there.
Yeah.
If I don't have anything available on there, then I'm not available. Sorry, man. It is what it is. And it's especially on Saturdays. I'm like, do you really want to walk in to a barber that's not busy on a Saturday and get your hair cut by them? Probably not, right? You know what I mean?
Why he's not busy?
There's a reason why he's not busy.
What's that saying? If you want to get something done, go to the person who's busy.
Yeah.
That's
Because
it.
they're
That's
the
like-
one that can get it done.
Yep. That goes
Very true.
through everything too.
Everything.
Contractors for working on your house. The guys who are booked out for a couple weeks, those are the guys you want to go with.
Yeah, I never trust a
Yeah.
skinny chef.
Yeah.
All that.
Oh man, what was that comedian? He used to have a late night show on Comedy Central. Fuck, it was Red Eye or something like that. Anyway, he said, you think I'm gonna ask anybody for directions? No, I'm gonna ask that one-legged dude because he has the fastest route to anywhere I need to go.
That motherfucker is efficient.
So true.
That's fucked up. That's awesome.
It's funny. Was it Joe Rogan the other day? Maybe not the other day, or weeks ago. He was talking about like not getting notifications and just staying away from that shit. Like if something is very important, say a specific news article or whatever, you're gonna hear it over and over again, and you go, okay, well, I guess that's important.
Right.
Like, do I really need to know things on the dot? And that's the problem with 24/7 news.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
everything's a fucking news alert. Justin Bieber got arrested. I don't give a fuck. Justin Bieber
Right.
just got arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I remember seeing this is one video. This one was talking about it was a congresswoman, and she was talking about a particular bill that was on the floor. She's discussing it, and she literally gets interrupted. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. We have a news alert. Justin Bieber just got arrested in Canada. And you're like, who the fuck? This was many years ago. And you're like, did you just interrupt a congresswoman to tell me that Justin Bieber just got arrested?
Dude,
That's crazy.
That's insane. And that's the point, right? That's the problem.
yeah, it is.
That's why I try to just keep to local news. Like, okay, it's a 7 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
What's happening in my area?
Here,
Right.
Something
Here.
that I can have some control
There's a
over.
cougar out.
And that's the
or
problem. And that's
10-car pilot.
exactly.
Should you really need to know?
And that's
Exactly.
the problem. Is we've always been we've become more focused on global news or country news, like something that is not in your immediate area.
Keeping up with the Kardashians.
Yeah. Don't even get me
Dude.
started.
Right? Then, but that's what you're talking
But yeah,
about, you know?
that's the problem.
Shit that's completely irrelevant, shit that has no impact whatsoever
Yeah.
on my life.
I luckily became more conscious of how shitty reality shows. I remember back then, like in high school or maybe middle school, we used to watch MTV a lot. I was the MTV.
What was that
generation.
show? What was that show? The first
Well,
one
there's
was
like Road Rules. There
That's
was
where it started.
Yep.
There was Real
We
World.
watched it.
Real
Real
World.
World. That's
Real
it.
World.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
They did fucking
man.
Real World Los Angeles,
Or
Real World Las
even-
Vegas,
yeah.
all that shit.
I remember
Miami.
becoming conscious of that. I think I was like 12 years old, 13 years old.
Yeah.
And I was watching with my cousin, and we watching in the summer, especially in the summer. Their shows were hilarious. They were awesome. But I'm like,
Them in VH1.
son of a
man.
butch. Yeah, June and July, and I'm watching, and you seen a bunch of people partying, having a great time, and I'm sitting here watching that.
Right.
Yeah. Not doing anything.
Hot as fuck. Like there's no AC.
Right.
I'm like, what the hell is going on right here? Like literally, that's when I became conscious. Like, nah, fuck that. I want you to watch me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so for instance, like my oldest, the daughter who's into theater, when she was super young, I try to have her be conscious of that. Now we were watching a documentary of Justin Bieber in concert, and it was this awesome shot of Justin on the stage, and here's thousands of people watching him. And nice.
You were fucking not far enough from the mic.
Sorry.
And I
Try to
paused
blow it
it.
away.
I paused it at that specific scene. I said, "Homegirl, look, which side of the fence do you want to be on? Do you want to be the person on the stage, or the people in that group?" She said, "The person on the stage." I said, "Then why are you watching this right now?
Right.
Why are you not honing your craft right now?"
Right.
You know, Alicia Keys, she talks about how she was on her piano, looking out the window, seeing her friends play,
Yeah.
and her mom said, "Nope, piano." You think she's regretting that shit right now? Hell no.
Nope.
That's parenting, dude.
Yeah.
Hell no. Trust me. Yes, play with your friends, but get
Yeah.
your work in first.
There's a lot we
Yeah.
can learn from that too, and that's
100%.
structure. You know, you got to have some structure. You got to have, yes, you need to do this from this time to this time. It's homework or focus or clean your room, but then you've got a free, hour and a half or whatever on the weeknight to go do what you want to do.
Right.
And I'm in that right now with my middle school child. She's in 7th grade, and she comes home with a lot of homework. And first thing she does when she gets home is obviously not want to do homework because she
Right.
just left 8.5 hours of school.
Sure.
But
Fair enough. Yeah.
You get to that point, it's like, hey, just knock this out so you've got the rest of the night and you don't
Right.
have homework kind of, looming over you. And then you're doing it when you're tired, you're not 100%
Yeah.
accurate and things like that. So it's like, just knock it out. Let's get a snack.
Yeah.
And then you've got, 3-4 hours to be with the family or go play Minecraft or whatever the hell you want to do.
Right.
So it gives her that time to be herself.
Let them earn that time.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's funny, too. I
Yeah.
think there's one thing I've noticed it going around recently. It was some meme or whatever. I think it began that way anyway. And it was some parent was giving their kid a hard time, and they're like, "You're over there watching kids on YouTube play with toys. Like, why don't you just go play with toys?" And the kid responded, "Well, you watch people play football. Why don't you go play football?"
Ooh.
And it's like, okay, one, you little bastard. That's not supposed to be how this goes, right? But, it makes you more cognizant. Now, obviously, I'm not going to get up and go play professional football for a lot of obvious reasons, right? But it gives you that perspective.
Yeah.
And, like, damn, you're right. You know what I mean? And even like
Totally.
this, you know what I mean? Like, we've been listening to podcasts for years, and now we're finally like, okay, let's stop being a consumer and create one. You know what I mean? Anybody that wants to be out there, whether it is guitar or bicycling or fitness or fashion or hell, professional nose picking, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Like, create something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be to make money, but just to be a creator, an innovator, something that is out there as opposed to constantly being a consumer. And like you were talking about with your oldest, like, do you just want to be that fangirl or fanboy always buying the merchandise and buying the tickets and going to see this person and supporting them and giving them the follows and likes on social media? Or do you want to be, or even on top of, there's nothing that says you can't still, you know, support somebody you like or follow them or whatever, but at the same time, there's nothing that says that you can't do that on your own level.
Sure.
You know,
well, if you're only doing is consuming, then there's an issue.
Yeah,
you know?
your
but if you're
ceiling is very
producing
low.
and then consuming on the side,
right,
like supporting other artists, supporting other builders and creators, that's fine.
And like I touched on earlier, you know,
consuming, that's a problem.
Consumption definitely has a positive. It can have a positive effect. You know what I mean? Because you're consuming. What are they doing that doesn't work? What are they doing that does work? You know what I mean? And you can implement that on your own. You know, and it's a lot of, since we've started this, I've listened to more podcasts to get feedback on what we can do better, as opposed to just sitting there consuming like a, you know, couch potato and just being like, yeah, that's good information. Yeah, cool, awesome, and keep moving on. You know, more like, okay, I like the way he positioned that. Okay, I like his mic setup. Okay, I really like the way, you know, their introduction was or whatever. And you just kind of start to follow those things, and you become more cognizant of what they're doing when you become a creator and an innovator and an inventor and all those kind of things, as opposed to just sitting there and being a blind robot just watching and just following like a damn stormtrooper or something, you know?
It's like my kids, they were, they're big into Minecraft. And all of a sudden, I started noticing that they were watching Minecraft videos, like on YouTube, of other people building shit. And at first it was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Because they, you know, they're pretty innovative and they make some amazing things on, you know, Minecraft. But then, on the same token, it's, hey, why are you watching that? Go do it. We have the shit. Go play the game.
Right.
That's why we bought it.
Yeah, I mean, go watch a tutorial and then do it yourself.
Exactly. But then they start to go down that rabbit hole where all they want to do is watch people build shit. And so, you know, we've nipped that in the bud real quick. But,
and it's crazy too, you know, just looking at that kind of stuff. Like, it doesn't matter, again, if it could be fitness or sports or apparel or biking or whatever. Yeah. But it's like you watch that person and, you know, for example, David Goggins, right? Now, granted, that guy's on a whole other planet, but to look at what he's doing and to look at who he is as a person and the obstacles that he overcame, and then the way that he puts it in perspective for us is he's not Superman. He doesn't have some insane gene. He didn't have, you know, a crazy upbringing. That's just who he is internally. And there's nothing that says that we can't do the same thing. You know, you watch these things on Minecraft because you think, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I could never build that. You know, we listen to these podcasts and we watch these football players and we, you know, do all these, you know, we consume all these different sources of media thinking I can't do that. I'm watching this. I'm listening to this because they have something I can't. Now, granted, Alicia Keys has skills I don't think any of us have, right? But she's also honed those skills for quite a while, and so that just kind of goes to show, like, they're not, people out there are incredible when they tap into their potential.
Sure,
you know, and it's being able to be cognizant and then tap into that potential, as opposed to watching someone else's biography of how they tapped into it.
And it's fine. Like, see, for instance, sports was supposed to be, especially in professional, it was like, these are the best of the world.
Right.
So you're seeing high caliber, high quality sports, right? Even in boxing. Like, there are times where there's boxing matches like, does this guy even belong in the fucking ring right now?
Right.
That I don't appreciate. But when you see the high quality, the high end, you know, type deal, you can appreciate the talent. The work that it took to get to that point. Yeah, I think the problem too today is like we're appreciating mediocrity. Yeah, it's like, okay, respect to Kim Kardashian. Yeah, I know people, but do I really need to see the back end of this?
Right, literally.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt. Exactly. You know, and you may consider us mediocre, but other people won't. Right. Right. I think there is value in sharing stories, especially in fatherhood. Because, for instance, like meeting you guys, you know, like, you kind of have that kinship, like, fuck, wow, there's someone else going through that shit.
Right. You feel like you belong.
Yeah.
That's when you finally meet those people, though. But if you don't, I mean, you feel like you're like a lone wolf. Yeah. Like, am I going through this by myself? The same shit. Like, I've talked to a couple other friends previously, and I was always talking about writing a book, like a funny book, you know, what it's like to be a dad and just, you know, lay it all out there. And when you start talking about it, they start telling their stories, and then you realize that this shit it's everywhere. It's not just you. You know, everybody's been pooped on or shit on, or you know, they're going through the same bedtime problems and struggles that you are. And you're not alone. You know, and that's it's like you said, Juan. It brings value listening to different stories and perspectives on things. Absolutely. And there's a lot people can take away from it too. So
absolutely, yeah. Someone just commented, interesting conversation. I believe people want more out of life, but since we're not taught to chase what is really important, we end up watching others chase their own.
Wow, that's pretty powerful.
Absolutely. I
Legit.
completely agree.
That is awesome.
Who is that from?
Digi Jim.
Okay.
What's up?
What up? What up?
There was another one. Her name was, I think, her Cinnabon. That's badass.
I'm so fucking hungry right now.
Thanks, Cinnabon. She said, "Loving the stream, guys. Sorry I didn't put in the chat in public. Not that type of girl." Okay, it is a girl. Yes, got you. And she said, "Hopefully you get so big you can invite fans like me and my girl over. We can sit on the sofa." Okay, never mind. So I'm gonna ignore that.
This is not casting couch. Okay.
Oh my god! I should have read that.
You should have read that one in your head first.
Note to self.
Note to self. No, it's funny. See, that's how they fucking get you. You see that shit on Instagram, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, in high school. Blah, 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 blah. And you go, yeah. Did we really meet? Yeah. You wanna? I'm okay. Okay. Oh shit. Never
Goodbye.
mind.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Cancel. Yeah. Let my wife see that shit.
Right.
Oh, that fucking pisses me off. Anyway, technology.
Back to technology.
But
And that, I mean, we could even tie that into technology. You know what I mean? Because there are so many scammers and bots and things like that on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all these other things where they send these things in to get clickbaits and to get, you know, whether it's an email address or a credit card number or just to get you to buy a product or whatever it is, like they are taking advantage of the oversaturation that we have to these devices.
Sure, and they take advantage of the total lack of fucking parenting out there of people making sure they're watching what their kids are looking at. And I don't remember what the name of the show was, but there were these parents who kind of, I think they let their 13-year-old girl just, you know, kind of do her own thing. She had a phone, and they got this guy who, what did he do? He baited her into coming out to his van. She's fucking 13 years old, right? And so the parents are in the van. And
this is like a setup, like a punked kind of thing.
It's kind of like a punk thing,
okay,
right? But it's to show the parents like how naive and gullible your kids are, and how you need to be more active in your kid's life. Anyways, it's like fucking midnight, and the parents are in this van. The dude rolls up, he's driving, and he's texting on the phone. Yeah, okay, you know, come outside. I'm out here. And so the fucking kid leaves the house and jumps in the fucking van, and the parents lose their shit. And I don't remember what the name of the show is, but I'll try to find out for the next episode. But that just goes to show how gullible your kids are, and if you're not actively engaged in you know what they're doing or what they're looking at, that shit can happen to you. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how kids disappear and get fucking murdered and things like that.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
I mean, that's how kidnappings and rape and all these other kind of molestation instances happen. Yeah. I mean, that's how it occurs. It's just not being aware. And it, you know where it starts? Right there. No yeah. That's where it starts.
We're all fucking guilty of it.
You know, absolutely. It's about, and I think it's time and place, balance, and cognizance. Yep. I think if you've got those three things, you'll never really let it get out of hand.
Yeah, and if you're giving your kids a phone, you know, put those ghost apps on there where you can see what they're looking at, and you can be aware. Or, you know, if they want an Instagram, you know, set some barriers and then make sure that you have the passwords and you can see everything that's going on. There's some other shit out there. What is it? Musically or some other stuff like that. You TikTok. Can kind of go down the fucking rabbit hole in those things, and there's some risky shit in there.
Yeah.
I have seen some shit on a family member's phone. She was a teenager, and you're like, there's no freaking way I would be letting my kid have access to this.
And more than likely, if the parents knew that, they'd say the same thing.
Sure, absolutely, but they don't.
Right.
You get to the point where, you know, the parents are saying like, oh yeah, we checked that, and you're like, no, you fucking don't.
Right.
Don't lie about that shit.
No. Yeah.
Be aware, be cognizant, and you know, protect your kids. That's what it's about. You know, protecting your kids. Mm-hmm. So you're doing them a disservice by not being actively engaged and proactive.
Yeah.
In the whole social aspect or social media and technology and phones and shit. So
my wife commented, she said, I couldn't hear you, Juan. I think you're safe. My mom said, I never thought I would have to ask Juan to speak up when you're reading the comments.
Yeah, I know.
But no, I mean, for sure, just not being, and that even translates to adults too. You know what I mean? That's where,
I mean, I got
infidelity.
I got kidnapped once.
That's where really.
no, I'm just kidding.
Oh my!
Oh, I was like, what the? That was real nonchalant. Like,
I know, right? Yeah, I got kidnapped.
But no, that's where
Whatever.
infidelity and pornography addiction and all those different things stem from. Is that's my phone? Why do you need it? What are you looking for? You know what I mean? You have to have. What do you need my password for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was something that from the very beginning, my wife and I set up was like, it's not that I don't trust you, and if you ever feel like you have to go through my devices, then that's another story. That's another bridge we need to cross. However, here's my email passwords. Here's my phone passwords. You know what I mean? Like, just open it up.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
and again, it's not that you're going to go through and check all those, but it's to let you know that I'm an open book. I got nothing to hide from you. I got no secrets. I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, I barely have the time and energy to keep up with you and the rest of my other life, the rest of my, work life and personal life and everything. You think I got time for somebody else? Like, the fuck? But it opens that door of trust and having faith in your partner. And that's exactly what they are, is they're a partner in your life, and again, it starts with the kids, and it starts maybe as you were a kid, and then you kind of go up and you continue to, level up, if you will.
Yeah.
And, it gets to that point where you create that barrier between colleagues and your spouse and your kids and your friends. Like, okay, well, that's my phone. That's my laptop. That's my garage. That's my whatever. Like, don't come in here. When people welcome you into their home and, for example, if, Jess's phone is on the charger or whatever and she says, hey, can I see your phone? Absolutely. Right in the middle of what I'm doing, I'll hand it to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because 9 times out of 10, she wants to look at the calendar, use the calculator. She wants to Google something. And she didn't feel like getting up to go get her phone. And I'll do the same thing. And it's not that I'm testing her. It's not that she's testing me. It's more so just like, oh, okay, well, that's the level of comfort and trust that we have. And both of us know there's nothing that we need to hide. Like,
it's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah,
I did the same
it is.
thing. My ex-wife was very iffy with me grabbing a phone, and I found out why. But now, like,
been there.
Yeah, right. And so even when we had the iPhone 5S, whatever, I had the touch ID.
Right.
She was able to get in my phone.
Yeah.
I was able to get in her phone.
I programmed her.
I'm scared of the moment if she goes, why? I'm like, whoa, thank God that never happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Because of my previous experience.
Yeah.
Even Face ID. Like, she can open my phone even easier now. Right? Like,
there needs to be that open line of communication.
There has to be. Absolutely.
Because the second you start to create those barriers and you create, just borders and you create boundaries, it gets to the point where, okay, there should be nothing that I don't know about you and nothing that you don't know about me. You know what I mean? At the same time, we're entitled to having our personal lives and feelings and opinions and things like that. But at the same time, there should never be a conversation or a message or anything like that should never come up in a group setting and my spouse, that be the first time my spouse finds out about something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then you get fucked up when you leave.
Not only do you have to deal with that wrath, but there's an internal feeling of like, I let her down. Sure. I should have braced her for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's, again, going to the protector, like that's what you're here to do, is to protect them even from shit that you yourself are doing. It's, hey, by the way, I yelled at my mom earlier, so if we go in there and she's a little pissed off, this is why I don't take it personal. As opposed to we just walk in there and she's like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? It creates the whole different vibe, but it's like, she's like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
So again, just preparing them.
I remember, my oldest got her phone, and my wife's like, all right, I'm going to put my finger in there. Oh, because what I did was I put my Touch ID to make sure that, things were in check. She kept removing it.
Your daughter?
Yes.
Ooh.
And so my wife was like, she came and was like, hey, by the way, I'm going to put my finger in my thumbprint. She said, why? She said, 'cause I'm your fucking mother. Well, that's why. What you hiding? What's your problem? All of a sudden, everything was aired out.
Yeah.
Right? So there's little things like that, kind of, obviously based on the response. Okay, what you doing? Let's go.
So we've done, ours is kind of the, we own it. The parents own it. Like my wife and I, we own it. We're letting you borrow this.
They're leasing it.
They're leasing it. So we did the same thing with a calculator. So we just bought this expensive fucking TI-84 calculator. It was $135 or $140.
That's just ridiculous.
So we bought this, and I told my daughter, I said, this is mine. I'm letting you use it. If you lose it, you have to buy it back. Like, you're buying the replacement. Like, I'm not going to buy you another one if you lose this $140 fucking calculator.
Right.
So it's coming out of your money. So, take care of it and, treat it with respect.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, I remember one thing my dad used to do, and I want to say it was middle school, and granted, this was before I had a smartphone. I had the LG Rumor that slid up with the full keyboard on the bottom, and 3 throughout the day or throughout, just throughout the week, certain nights he would come grab my phone. Sometimes I would know about it and he would ask me for it. And sometimes he would do it when I was sleeping. And he would go through and he would look at every message and every phone call and every, note or whatever through my phone to to just check and make sure I was, not up to no good kind of thing.
Selling drugs or some shit like that.
Right. And
or even vice versa, someone, like you said, like trying to do shit to you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
To your child, right?
Yeah,
That's really what I'm looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, not always to make your kid the culprit.
No.
Right. You're trying to be the protector. Take care of your
Exactly.
kids. Make sure they're safe.
So
That's
but
why
I remember when he
sorry.
did that, it scared me into being like, should I be doing this? And now it's carried through life, through business and marriage and driving and talking to people. Like, my dad is somebody that I am deathly afraid of, but also respect, to an extremely high level. And so I always think about it like, if my dad saw me doing this, would he be proud of me? And that's everything from what I do on my phone to the way that I speak to people to what I do in my downtime to how I treat my wife and kids, everything. You know what I mean? And because he held me to such a high standard, that's kind of something that I keep going. And it all started from him checking my text messages at night.
You still got that in the back of your head.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Even when I'm
what would
when
Steve
I dress
Jobs
myself.
think of what I'm doing right now?
He'd be so pissed at Apple right now.
Oh man. Fuck. Oh.
Wormhole.
Yeah, right.
yeah. I was about to say next podcast or another podcast.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
wait a minute, we are in technology, but no. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, and that was my father figure because I didn't.
Right.
Yeah, that actually is another conversation.
It is.
That's another conversation.
So we'll save that for another podcast.
But yeah, let's do it.
And what we'll do a quick roundtable. Juan, anything
Sure.
you want to?
Be cognizant of your kids. That's my role. Know what they're doing. Be aware. Teach them. Show them the vulnerabilities that exist out there. Let them experience life and not through a freaking glass. Especially you see these pictures of people watching concerts and all you see is phones. And we think you think they're looking at the performer or the fucking phone.
Yeah.
The phone.
Literally, I felt that yesterday. And my kid, we're at Pump It Up, and I'm recording my daughter going up this thing. I'm kind of I'm missing this shit. I'm literally looking at it through a different lens.
Yeah.
Most important lens. That's it.
Yeah. Josh?
I mean, I would just say provide and protect. Provide real life experience. Protect them from what's out there. And what's out there could be even what you yourself are doing. Just, kind of to piggyback off what he's saying, be cognizant, but at the same time, be cognizant with a purpose. Don't be like, okay, I know what they're doing. Like, know what they're doing and know where that could go. You know what I mean? Like, oh, she's just on Snapchat.
No, yeah,
she's
you're
just
right.
on this. Like, be cognizant of what that could lead to, both from them doing wrong and someone doing wrong towards them.
Yep.
That's right.
And your kids learn from you.
Yeah.
You know, they're watching what you do. They're watching you mindlessly scroll through Facebook or your phone or whatever it is. So be present. Put your phone down. Set some boundaries. Turn the shit off when you get home from work. Just focus on your kids. Be there for them.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
All right.
Boom.
Thanks, guys.
That's a
Appreciate
wrap.
y'all.
Love ya. Except Cinnabon. Nah, I don't know.